my dear students. So today I'm going to take a new lesson, Breathe and Blend of Life. So the topics we are going to discuss today are the human respiratory system, the different respiratory organs in different animals, and how do plants respire. So these all are the things we are going to discuss today. So hope you all are ready for it. So let's begin. Yes. So all of you notice this picture. All of you look at this picture, children. Yes, this is the structure of a human respiratory system. So the human respiratory system begins from the nostrils. Nostrils are the openings on the nose. Through the nose there are openings. You can see two holes. So it is the opening or through the nose. From this only the air passes inside the lungs. Then comes a long tube which is sheath-shaped and it is made up of cartilage rings. Cartilages are soft bones. So it is made up of cartilage rings and it is C-shaped. And this long tube is called trachea. Next one, trachea divides into two branches which is called bronchi and its plural is bronchi and singular is bronchus. Then bronchi, later it forms the lungs. Lungs is acting like a sponge and it is not made up of muscles. It is like a air sac. So where the air comes and rush in the lungs. Now there is another organ which you can see from the picture. A muscular sheet which is able to move and it is attached to the ribs. That is called diaphragm. With the help of this diaphragm, the muscle, with the help of this muscular sheet, the lungs contract and expand during the breathing time. Now this trachea, this bronchi, this lungs, that entire part is called the chest cavity or the thoracic cavity. And this thoracic cavity is protected by the ribs. That is called rib cage. So this is about talking about the structure of human respiratory system. Now we can go on to the mechanism of breathing. Do you know, children, what is breathing? You might be knowing that. That is taking in of oxygen-rich air into the lungs, okay, and releasing the air with carbon dioxide outside the lungs is called breathing. So there are two terms you have to study from this lesson. Taking in of air into the lungs is called inhalation or inspiration. And releasing the air out with carbon dioxide out of the lungs is called exhalation or expiration. So these are the two terms you have to study related to the breathing. Now let's see the mechanism of breathing. So have you seen the picture, children? Yes, during inhalation, that is we are taking in air into the lungs. The lungs get expanded, it increases in size because our lungs will be full of air. So lungs will increase in size, that means its volume increases. As you have studied according to science, as the volume increases, the pressure will decrease. It is inversely proportional. So, as the volume, because the lungs is containing full of air. So, as the volume increases, the pressure, the air pressure decreases. And the lungs will get expanded and the diaphragm moves downwards. Now when we exhale, that is during exhalation, you can see from the picture, the lungs contract, the lungs reduce its size because there is no air. We are releasing the air outside. So as a result of it, the volume decreases and the air pressure increases. And the diaphragm will come back to its original position, that is towards the upward position. And the diaphragm is the only thing which separates the abdominal cavities and the lung part. Abdominal cavities means which is the stomach, liver, large intestine, small intestine. So this diaphragm helps us to get separated from this abdominal cavity and the lungs. So this is about the mechanism of breathing. So when we breathe, the inhaled air contains oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, water vapor, and their percentages will be there. So that is which is shown over here. The inhaled air contains how many percentage is shown below. Similarly, when we exhale, how much percentage does this oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen and water vapor contains? That is also clearly given below. So you can see the variation in the number. The oxygen was 21%. Later in the exhaled air, it became 15% because the oxygen we breathe, we are using the oxygen for many metabolic activities. We are using it. That is why there is a decrease in the number. Similarly, carbon dioxide, 0.04 is only present in the inhaled air. But when it comes outside, you can see that the carbon dioxide level or percentage is increased to 4. Even the water vapor also is like that. The only thing which doesn't have any change is the nitrogen, because nitrogen is not absorbed by our body. It is not involved during the cellular respiration. It's not involved during breathing. So the number of the oxygen, nitrogen, that is 78%, it remains as such. Now here you can see a model of the lungs. You can make a model of the lungs. For that you need a plastic bottle. Then you need a tube which is Y-shaped. Then you need a cork to close the bottle. Then you need a large balloon and 2 small balloons. So you can see from the picture. In this what you have to do means cut the plastic bottle into halves and put the hole into a cork of the bottle. Then insert this Y-shaped tube inside the bottle, and at the ends of the Y-shaped tube tightly fix the small balloons. Then the large balloon you have to cut it into half and you can fix it tightly. The half portion of the balloon can be fixed tightly around the open end of the bottle. Now this is acting as the diaphragm here, and the 2 small balloons are acting as the lungs, and the Y-shaped tube is the trachea. Now nostrils. Through the nostrils, the air passes inside the trachea, then it reaches to the bronchi and then it reaches the lungs. So when you hold the balloon at the middle and pull it downwards, you can see that the air fills the two balloons and it expands. Similarly, when you release it, you can see the balloon has lost its air and came back to the original place. It reduces its size. It contracts. So this is the model of the lungs you can make. Now when you blow the air into the mirror, children, what will happen? You can see some misty. It will not be clearly seen, right? Yes, you cannot clearly see your face in the mirror when you blow air into the mirror. So what is the reason? There is water vapor. Due to the water vapor, because our exhaled air contains 3% of water vapor. So due to that, we are not able to see our face properly. And how does this carbon dioxide turns the lime water into milky? That is what the next experiment which is given in your textbook. You can see a boy doing this experiment. Take a beaker, fill the beaker half with clear lime water. Clear lime water. Lime water is calcium hydroxide, which is a base. Now blow the air into the straw. By using a straw, you blow the air into the straw and into the lime water. And take another beaker. There also you fill it with lime water, and here you have to enter the carbon dioxide using a dropper. After some time you can see that the lime water turns into milky where the boy has blown using the straw. This is because the blowed air contains carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide gets mixed with this calcium hydroxide, which is the lime water, and it forms calcium carbonate. This calcium carbonate makes the lime water change into milky. But in the other case, there is no such milky formation. So that is about this experiment. Now we are going to discuss about how do plants respire. Plants also respire like us. They also breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide, and the gaseous exchange takes place in the minute pores. It takes place in a minute pores called stomata, which is present in the leaves, which you have learned in the lower classes. And they use only carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. Otherwise, they also breathe like human beings. They take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. So this is happening through the minute pores which is present in the leaves. That is called stomata. Next one, if the windpipe blocks, windpipe is called the trachea. If it gets blocked accidentally, like if you are taking the food and the food gets stuck in the windpipe, what will happen, children? You will not be able to breathe properly. So immediately you have to give a first aid. What first aid we will give? You can see from the picture, that is, you have to hold the person from behind of his abdomen. You have to hold it from behind. Then what you have to do, you have to fold your palm. You have to fold one palm and place it below the ribs. You can place it below the ribs. And another palm you place by folding around it, or top of it, not around, top of it. So in this position you have to hold the person and press it very quickly, press it very tightly so that the food particles can come outside. So what you have to do, children, you have to hold the person from behind the abdomen, then hold the one palm, fold it and put it below the ribs. Here is our ribs. So put it below the ribs, and then what you have to do, you have to place the other hand above it, on top of it, and press it very hardly, very quickly you have to press it so that the food particles will come outside. If it is a case of small child, what you have to do, children, you have to face the child downwards in your lap. Then you have to tap it tightly on the shoulders. Between the shoulder bones, you have to tap it tightly so that the food particles can come outside. So this is how the first aid we are giving when a food gets blocked in the windpipe or trachea. Now, next one is the respiratory organs which is seen in different animals. First one is amoeba. You know that amoeba is a unicellular organism. It consists of only one cell. So there is no such respiratory organs. All the air diffuses in and out through the cell membrane. It takes place through the cell membrane. Similarly, in the insects. In insects, in the side, there are some openings called spiracles. And the air enters into the spiracle and reaches like a network of tubes which is called trachea. So these are the respiratory organs. The spiracles and the trachea are the respiratory organs in insects like grasshopper, cockroach, etc. Earthworm. Earthworm's respiratory organ is through the moist skin. Moist means which contains a little amount of water. That is why you can see the earthworm always in the moist soil. Okay, now fish. As you all know that the respiratory organ of the fish is the gills, right? Yes, it's the gills, but when the water enters into their mouth through the gills, the oxygen gets transferred into the blood and it is used for various activities. But there are certain fish like catfish, snakehead fish and eel. They can directly inhale the oxygen from the atmosphere. But this is only temporary because they cannot live long on the land. Long time they cannot live on the land. Only for some extent they can live on the land. But they have an ability to directly take the atmospheric oxygen from the atmosphere. Next one is the amphibian, which is the frog. When it is on the land, it breathes through the lungs. Now when it is on the water, it breathes through the skin. So these are the different respiratory organs of different animals. So this is about today's topic. Today we discussed about the respiration. We told that it is the taking in of the oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide, rich air. That is otherwise known as breathing. And we learned about the two terms inspiration and expiration. Then also we learned about the mechanism, what is happening during the inspiration and expiration. So this is about today's topic. Hope you all have understood the topic. Read the text thoroughly, children. So bye.